and you're listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special AEW All Out episode of the BCP. Right now, you are listening to a cover of Fozzie's Judas by my good friends in Damnation. Guys, as always, thank you for letting me use your tunage. Check out my good friends in Damnation now on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you so much. And right now, let's introduce our all-star stellar panel. Right now, talking AEW All Out. Please welcome back to the show. She is the queen of the indies, the Heartbreak Chick, host of the All Elite Pod, and in charge of the No Holds Barred Network. What a resume. Please welcome back to the show, Miss Tiffany. Tiff, what's up? How are you?
Damn, you should be exhausted with that intro.
I got the coffee.
Damn, you forgot EVP of Giggles too, so that
Oh, that's true.
I got too many names, man. Like, it's too many names. I'm good.
So my question is here. You'll introduce me later. You have your list of husbands, which we know about. You have your list of wives, which I saw on Twitter today. But I heard through the Twitter sphere you have a list of podcasters. Who's number one on that list?
We made it official the other day, so Rob is the number one husband for the podcaster.
I'm not worthy.
Because he's a swarthy drummer. He's such ladies. He is constantly posting those thirst traps on Instagram with those doughy eyes. He's wearing the tank tops, a little bit of the chesty showing. Ladies, he's out of the lighthouse in Maine. He's in the Bob Cave now. All I'm saying is, as they would have said 20 years ago, holler at your boy, because he's out there.
No,
So Rob, why don't you introduce me?
He is a broken Rob Hardy. I think you're incorrect, but I do appreciate the plug right there. And of course, that other handsome voice you hear on the Bob Culture Podcast. Please welcome back to the show, Lay Editor-in-Chief, hashtag Dad Instincts, hashtag You Know Why Bill. Please welcome back to the show, Mr. Bill Bodkin. What's up, bro?
So I just want to excuse my behavior on this podcast because I decided I was going to drink tonight, and Rob's like, I need you on a podcast in 20 minutes while you're doing a fantasy football draft, and I'm like, okay. So good thing it's on AEW because I can talk about that in any state. So yeah, glad to be here. I don't have my makeup done like Miss Tiffany, nor am I posting thirst traps like Rob. But I'm here, man. I'm here.
I got lipstick.
I'm the American Nightmare tonight because Cody's out.
With the Jameson sponsorship, I believe.
It was Tito's, but I tried to keep it classy for a night.
But we got Fat Pharaoh. Because, the whole story with Fat Pharaoh, he's the mascot of AEP, all right? Because you have Pharaoh, right? But this one's fat. He looks like Pharaoh. So it's not F-A-T. It's P-H-A-T.
Love it.
And, of course, the AEP is the All Elite podcast that you host.
Yes.
Rob, don't think I don't know how to throw a shameless promo in there.
That's why you're here, Bill. I appreciate it, guys. Now, everyone, please, as I always say here, bear with me. Going through a big move, setting up the studio, trying to keep up with everything going on in the wrestling world. As Bill just mentioned, I called an impromptu podcast to hammer this one out. So let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit. AEW signature show, All Out. I'm excited for this one. As always, we start with ladies first here on the BCP, and we're going to talk about Swole taking on Britt, who is apparently back in action, guys, who I saw last week in a handicap match, I guess?
Yep.
And that was very interesting. But Britt is officially cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, that was always the goal, that she was going to be ready for All Out.
Yeah, she said that on one of the Dynamite, like after she got hurt, and then that she was going to have all that surgery and everything. So she said that she was going to be back at All Out.
This is going to be they're calling it a tooth and nail match, which I did not get the logistics on that. So I don't know if teeth are going to be pulled or we're just going to have manicures going on. But I'm ready for this match, man, because Swole, I think she's over this quarantine, man. She has just taken her stock to the next level. She's in. I think the AEW fan base is behind her, and Britt's just been, well, shit. I'm just gonna say it. She's been dynamite, But no, she's been great. She pulled a Steve Austin, which I think we were all hoping for her to do. Is like when she's hurt, she actually made herself more valuable just through her promos and through her characters, like Austin did back in the '90s after the Owen Hart, pile driver incident. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get out of this match. As a match was what I mean, because like they got to protect Britt because she's gonna have some ring rust, and we don't want her to re-injure her, her knee. I'm gonna go. Britt Baker's gonna win this one,
And
by crook. There will be interference and shenanigans and hijinks, and she will win because I think Swole's a little better in the chase for this one.
Ooh.
Very well. So that's interesting.
I
Swole,
mean,
by the way,
also drunk, so my opinions are going to be worse than usual. So, although maybe my picks are going to be better because my picks are always wrong.
well, we'll see what happens. I think Swole's gear is also always on point. So hashtag wrestling fashion of any over there. But let's talk to the Queen of Indies. What do you think about this one?
It's crazy because I really feel excited for this match, right? This is probably one of the most built matches that we've had for All Out. I feel like it's the longest built match. And I'm so upset that it's in the buy-in. All right? I'm very upset that it's in the buy-in. I understand we have to give a little something so people can pay-per-view the event. But this match I don't feel should be in the buy-in. To be honest with you, I feel like and I know Bill's not going to agree with me on this one, but
I mean, you can
really
convince me of anything at this point.
I feel like this should be switched out with the 8-man.
No, I don't disagree with that, but I just wonder if they're doing it to protect Britt because they're just hedging their bet of how she'll be in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And I'm hoping that I feel like every time there's a pay-per-view that Britt always gets hurt. So I hope to God she doesn't get hurt again in a pay-per-view. But I'm rooting for Big Swole on this one. So I mean, I could see it going Britt, but I don't know. I just feel like, especially with the Go Home show today, I just feel like it's gonna go to Big Swole.
Maybe we get Lil Swole shows up, evens the odds for her. I'd be all about that.
I would. I love Lil Swole. Hell
Which is
yeah.
Nicole Savoy, for all those who don't know who Lil Swole is.
Interesting. I like where you guys' heads are at. That should be interesting on the kickoff show, or the buy-in, I should say, not the kickoff show. Wrong brand. Let's talk about another match that was added tonight, the Jurassic Express. The anti-smart Luchasaurus' #1 fan, of course, we always talk about here, versus the Young Bucks. This is an interesting one. I'm not entirely sure how this one came about, but I think this is going to be a great match. And as we always say here on the BCP, the real winners?
The fans.
That's right. Bill, what do you got?
Well, this came about because what they did was they had an interesting little gimmick match today. It was Bucks and Jurassic Express versus Tiff's favorite, Private Party, and SCU.
Party!
Yeah, I love the shirt.
I was going to say, I got a wrestling shirt on, but it's Ric Flair, so I'm like, all right, whatever. But it was versus Private Party and SCU of Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. And the stipulation was the winner of the match, the 8-man who won, they would face each other at All Out. So the Bucks and Jurassic Express won, and so they're going to face each other. That's how that happened. If I had to pick a winner, I don't know, man. It's like the layup, the finger roll is the Young Bucks, because obviously they're the Young Bucks. But they've lost a lot of big matches. They lost to Double P, Private Party, in an amazing match in the early days of Dynamite. I think they're gonna stall this FTR Young Bucks match for as long as they possibly can.
Someone's gonna get hurt.
Because
someone's gonna get hurt.
I don't know why you're saying that.
Because that's what always happens when they stretch things out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's why I was wondering. Because they want the fans there. So I think they're going to stretch this out for a while. So I think I'm going to go upset here. I'm going to go Jurassic Express. Because I think the Elite still there's a lot of dissolution that has to happen, or dissolving that has to happen in the Elite right now. And I'm going to go Jurassic Express, and that will be the first contenders for the AEW Tag Team titles. For FTR, will be Jurassic Express. And Luchasaurus looked like he did a year ago for the first time, I feel like, tonight on Dynamite. Because I feel like he's always been a little off since the the injury, I think it was a soft tissue injury, which we just did a fantasy draft tonight. Like football players, sometimes it takes them a full year to get healthy. I think it took a while for Luchasaurus to really get his footing back. He looked awesome tonight. I was almost going to say Dynamite, and I was like, Jesus Christ, stop saying Dynamite so much.
Wait, let me get alcohol because I feel like the amount of times that you're going to say Dynamite tonight, I should be taking a shot.
I was doing that too.
Should be. Let's just do it. Let's make it a party. I still got to go to work. I mean, let's do it.
Hey.
But I'm going Jurassic Express.
That's your shameless plug.
It's a private party. Oh, sorry. I'm a little upset, obviously. Those are my boys. I love them to death. Everybody knows it. Those are the boys. To be honest with you, I really thought it was going to be SCU versus Private Party at All Out because Private Party was advertising a contest that whoever won their contest to do like a dance to their theme song, which me and April were supposed to do it and we forgot because we got all crazy at Synergy. But so I'm upset, because I'm always going to root for my boys and I'm always going to be biased. But anyway, so we have Jurassic Express and we have the Young Bucks here. And on paper, it was funny because I was talking to Kyle, like, while this match, I was like, SCU and Private Party are going, definitely. And then I was like, oh, okay, I was wrong. So I was like, that's not happening then. So I was like, all right, so we have this match. And I'm going to go with Jurassic Express as well because we need to start building our other tag teams here. And I agree. I think we're going to push out for Matt and Nick for a while with FTR. Man, it's their company. This is like how I feel. It's like their company, right? So they should win. And they have to be on All Out. But yeah, Jurassic Express is going to take this one. They need this win. They need to start ranking up here in tag team. So
yeah. I think that's a good pick. I'm a big fan, obviously, like I said, of Luchasaurus. I loved his match with Wardlow a little while back. That was great. So I'm excited to hear that he's doing very well and is healthy and all that stuff. You guys mentioned earlier that 8-man, I believe, tag match with, what is it, the Dark Order? Who else is involved in that one?
So you have Brody, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu. And then if it's versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares.
Interesting pairings. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it makes sense because it was built up a couple of weeks ago, like on Dynamite, and I know that Matt Cardona's like contracted for 5 matches with AEW.
Right.
So, and since, I don't know if you want to go there now, because like now I didn't pick my picks, so I'm kind of picking off air right now.
Oh, you better. I love it.
So, so I guess we're going into this match now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So this was kind of a tough one for me, and this is what I always do at AP when we do our predictions and stuff. And as I start talking myself, I kind of walk myself into my prediction sometimes. So that seems what's gonna happen here. I really feel that I really don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, go. But the reason why I'm saying is because I feel like Dark Order needs to look so damn strong here, right? Because Brody just won, and it would look so bad if they lost, right? But it's Matt Cardona, right? And that's what's kind of swaying me the other way. But all right, come back to me.
Maybe it's like a QT Marshall takes the pin. It doesn't hurt anyone, kind of a thing.
Brother, if there's anyone destined to take a pin, it's QT Marshall. But I do think the Dark Order goes over here. You can't have Brody Lee. I mean, is there a possibility that Matt Cardona gets the surprise roll up on somebody, or he takes a pin and then because I honestly think the end game here is Cardona and Brody Lee are going to hook up, and they're not in that way. I apologize. They're going to fight. Although if they did, like, who gives a shit? Love is love. And it's just like, those two are going to fight, and I think that's going to be the impetus for Cody to come back, because obviously he's injured / filming Stephen Amell's show in Georgia about pro wrestling, which I need to get a screener for when it's finished. And yeah, I look at this as like somehow Cardona has to get to Brody Lee, and I think they still need to win because there's a lot of stories being told here. Like I said, Cardona with Cody. You also have Brody and Colt that still needs to be told here. And I think by them beating them, and beating them viciously or cheating. I think it'll be like by hook or by crook, because remember there's 9,000 members of the Dark Order. Like, we're going to start seeing that fissure between Colt and Brody. I don't believe Matt Cardona is only there for 5 shows. I mean, yes, he is there for 5 shows, but he will be there for more shows, I believe.
Yeah.
He's not going. He's not doing this to be like, hey, WWE, hire me back. Like, I think he's going to be there full time when they start touring again. And so I'm going to go Dark Order because, like, listen, it's going to be, like, I think this is a sleeper match because, one, Uno and Stu, awesome. Loved them when they were Super Smash Brothers. Colt, love Colt. Brody Lee, awesome. Scorpio Sky has not got enough time. He's great. Dustin is just, I don't get Dustin, like, how he's still doing this shit. QT Marshall is going to eat the pin. And, yeah, this is going to be, I think this is going to be really, it's going to be fun chaos, and Dark Order takes the win.
Tiff, do you want to piggyback on that?
Yeah, I know. See, this is what I do with Kyle on All Elite podcasts.
Real.
It's crazy, but you know what? This is why I love AEW, because it's so refreshing to sit here and like fight with myself of the predictions. So and that's what I like to have. I don't want to assume and like know, and I love being caught off guard of like, oh damn, I was wrong. So I love that. And you're absolutely right. Like, I love Scorpio Sky, and like I'm so happy he's getting the singles run that he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously not in this match, but he definitely deserves a singles run here. But obviously, like, it's true. I think if it's either gonna be QT or it's gonna be Dustin that eats this fall. So you know what? I'm gonna stick with, like, originally, like, I had thought the Dark Order was gonna take this, and like I said, I kind of talked myself into a bag. So then I start thinking the other way. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna stick with that. We're gonna go with the Dark Order. They definitely need to look strong here.
Yeah, but going off what you said, like, that's the cool thing about AEW, because we could logically look at this match and say, like, well, one team could beat the other. Like,
right.
We're not walking in and be like, oh, obviously this is going to happen. And I'm not just talking ragging on WWE. I'm just saying, like, any pay-per-view, you walk into a New Japan, Ring of Honor, even some AEW stuff, you're like, oh, God, like, maybe not so much AEW, but it's just like you walk in the shows, you're like, I know who's going to win this match easily. But AEW has, especially with their pay-per-views, has this way of being like, but maybe not. Maybe we fool you. And, like, that's what I love about that company.
Yeah, and you guys ready for a name drop here? You guys are echoing the sentiments of one Mr. Tommy Dreamer, who was on the show yesterday. So check out that interview. But it's also a tie-in because he will be at the watch party, an outdoor, under the stars, all-out watch party at the Showboat in Atlantic City, presented by our good friends at BCW. Check out the Bob Culture Podcast sponsored match of Miss Riley Shepard, the gladiator of the geeks, taking on Miss Vanity for the BCW Women's Championship match. Shameless promo over. Let's go on to the next match. Let's talk a little bit about the tag titles, the AEW World Tag Team Title Championship match of FTR taking on the champions Omega and Hangman Page. A lot going on here with the Elite. Tiff, let's start with you on this one.
I've been saying this for months. For me, I'm kind of tired of the whole Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, and I'm ready for new tag teams. I really feel it's just I'm not like going negative with it. FTR and the Young Bucks do not need the tag team titles for this match to happen, and it drives me crazy because it's going to be a good match. It's something we want, and I feel like also like they're going to like push this as well for fans to be in the building for this. But the way that I feel like that they've been booking AEW, FTR is taking these damn belts. But I should be happy, right? Because I said, I was like, I really wasn't a huge fan in the beginning of Kenny and Paige together. But I feel like, and I was talking about this long-term booking yesterday with one of my friends, and I was like, Kenny's probably eventually going to be the one that takes the AEW the AEW belt off Moxley, and then how much sweeter would it be? See, long-term booking, how much sweeter it would mean so much more when Hangman Page takes that belt, because we've been building Hangman Page for so long. So I kind of get it with the tag team But me personally, like I said, I'm ready for new tag team titles on a new team. I wish it was my boys' private party. No, excuse me. I wish it was best friends. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, I think FTR is taking the belts off.
Great point, Tiff, saying that the belts don't need to be part of that FTR Young Bucks feud. That's a very fantastic point. I wish I had those points to give to you guys. We'll get there one day. Bill, your thoughts on this one?
See, I think they do need to be in this feud, and I'll tell you why. Because the Young Bucks have been denied and have lost their opportunities at those belts forever. And I think they don't even need to win that match for it to be special. I feel like when you get that crowd back, and I'm thinking Double or Nothing 3, 2021. Say we get 75% capacity in Las Vegas, and you finally get that match. They finally touch for the first time, like in a ring for the title. The energy in that building is going to be palpable. You can drizzle that shit on pancakes. It's going to be so delicious. It's going to be like, and the Bucks don't need to win. They don't. But just the thought that they could finally win the big one, and that's going to be their thing for the Bucks is like everyone thought they would book themselves to win the title off the bat, but it's like, are they finally going to win the big one? And I think like the answer will be no, they're not on that match. I think they eventually will, but I feel like FTR is going to take this. The promo they did tonight with Hangman, talking about like, we didn't influence you to turn on the Bucks. We didn't influence you to be shitty towards Kenny. That's all you. So now you've built this inner turmoil of alcoholic Hangman Page with those bloodshot eyes and his, from crying and all that stuff. It now sets us in a path with Hangman that we don't know where he's going to go. Because like the rumor is like, oh, is he going to join this like kind of horseman thing that they're going to do? And join FTR and Tully and maybe Shawn Spears? What's going to happen with Hangman? What's going to happen with Kenny, who's gotten way more aggressive these days? He beat the shit out of Marco Stunt. Like, that's not Kenny Omega. That's not the Kenny we know. Or we've seen in AEW, I should say. So, yeah, FTR is going to win this match. This match is going to be Bonkers the Bobcat. It's going to be so good. Yeah, a little WB reference right there. Disney Afternoon for everybody. But nice. It's only good for me. It's just jokes for me at this point. But this match is going to be great, I think. Because I don't think FTR, in my opinion, has not had a bad match since they started AEW. And this is going to be great. And the potential for where the Hangman and Kenny just have to split up because the potential for both of them is massive. And then to see, because I really think my whole grand long-term booking thing is Inner Circle is going to go to the background. And then this new FTR Tully group new faction is going to be rising while Dark Order takes over that Inner Circle, dominance of the show. And so then we'll have, it's the old world-class booking that MLW took and didn't do too well with. And then of like one faction to rule them all. That faction goes away, next faction up. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see the rise of that. It's going to be super cool. And I'm, pun intended, all in for that. But this match is going to be, I think this is the match of the night.
Wow.
Because, I mean, we saw what they did with the Bucks.
Yeah.
And that was just, like, stupendous, bringing that one out of the cobwebs. And, like, I think this, it's going to be a different style, but it's going to be, they're going to just, okay, they're going to go all out. I'm sorry. It's right there. It's there for me for the taking. But they're going to, like, I remember the first time I ever saw FTR, they fought American Alpha, and it was at the Dallas Takeover, and it was like a 1989 NWA tag team match, like a Steiner Brothers versus Legion of Doom, or Steiner Brothers versus Tully and Arn. It was that classic type of match. I think we're going to see that spirit in the ring there. As the kids would say, I'm about it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Take it. Very interesting. I want to talk about a match that I've been stoked for. Of course, we have the AEW Women's Champion, Sheeta, taking on another former BCP guest, our good friend, Miss Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's world champion. I really wanted to roll the R's there, but I am not qualified for that.
Oh,
But love Thunder Rosa. Stoked for this. You know, like Bill, you and I used to always talk about like things where Matt Hardy might kind of get involved earlier on with AEW coming from WWE and like where worlds kind of collided and stuff like that. I love this kind of stuff, man. Seeing Thunder Rosa take on Sheeta, this is fantastic. I think Thunder Rosa is going to ultimately utilize this platform to the fullest. I'm so excited for this one. Tiff, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, this is crazy. Like, this is a match I've been looking forward to as well. I love my girl Sheeta. I'm huge fan. Me and Kyle are like Sheeta is on the list of wives. And I love her to death. And, you know, it's so funny for someone who never watched Stardom. And I got so excited. Shout out to our boy JPQ, and who got me a little bit into some Stardom as well. And I really felt, and you know, to be at All Out last year.
Oh, you lucky dog.
Like,
Wow.
like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I started falling in love with like the Joshis and stuff. So I really enjoyed like Ryu and or as we call Rihu on AEP. But and then Thunder Rosa, of course, because I am Queen of the Indies. I mean, come on. I mean, who doesn't love our girl Thunder Rosa? So I'm so glad that AEW gives that platform to our indie peeps. We've seen so many with like Cody. So yeah, it's about some damn time that we got some women from the indies. Let's go. So this is gonna be a match. I'm so excited for a lot of people who are not familiar with her, Thunder Rosa, to finally see her in action. But I love the fact that like maybe this is the start of a partnership with NWA as well. So we'll see what happens there. But you know, gotta go with my girl Sheeta because I love my list of wives, Sheeta. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Very well said, Tiff. Excuse me, Bill. Your thoughts on this one? Do you think Sheeta is also going to win?
You know, it's crazy, man. Like, there, like again, like you would think. The easy answer is, of course, Sheeta's going to win. She's the AEW Women's Champion.
Right.
Why would she lose? But if you watch the match tonight between Thunder Rosa and former WWE/NXT/Mayhem Classic competitor and coach Serena Deeb, where Jim Ross was like, basically they had to stop him for saying this is the best women's match I've seen in AEW, because they're like, dude, like there's been other great matches, stop it. This was, and they were excellent together in the ring. And Thunder Rosa, man, if and when her AEW and NWA contract expires, if I'm AEW, I'm just like, how many zeros do you want on that check? Cool, you're in. Because she's great. She looked awesome. I remember her as Cobra Moon in Lucha Underground, and I was just like, character's cool, don't get it, get her in the ring, don't vibe with it. And I think it was just a character, because as soon as you saw her as Thunder Rosa, I'm like, oh, she's great. And this is really smart booking by AEW. It's like, obviously the women's division is in a rebuild, even though they won't admit it. This takes all the pressure off the women's division booking to be like, okay, we have a ready-made champion here with Thunder Rosa. She's got that cachet of being a NWA Women's Champion. She's got a great name. She's going to take on Sheeta. We can build Britt, Swole. We got these tag champs. We're going to have Brandy and
Allie.
Anna Jay. We're going to have them rumble at some point because she choked her out, which I thought was really cool. So, yeah, and he gives you a high-profile women's match. And they gave Serena and Thunder Rosa a lot of time to work, and it was super cool. This I think, will be the 1A to FTR, Hangman and Kenny's 1. Yeah. Because they're going to tear this shit up. It's going to be really good. Would I be shocked if Thunder Rosa walks out with the AEW Women's title? No, I wouldn't. Oh. No, I wouldn't. I'm going to go Sheeta, but mark my words, I am not, much like I said, Roman Reigns is going to show up at SummerSlam. You're welcome, Rob. I would not be shocked if, especially since NWA's got that show coming up real soon, man, they walk in with the AEW title. That's going to put some eyes on there. Then you go say have the women going over to the NWA and some NWA women coming over. You still got some good talent there. Let's do it. God.
Oh, I'm all for this. I'm all for this. I've been saying stuff like this on the podcast that we need more like open relationships because just think of the possibilities that we can send over. Like why can't eventually like I feel like we're gonna get Cody and Nick Aldis again eventually.
I mean,
Like I don't know
if you
when
want to put them
like
to sleep,
Cody gonna
okay.
go over there. So I would love this open door with this. So oh man, but you're right. I wouldn't be shocked either. Like if she walked out with the belt. Why not? Because we had the Lucha Bros and Triple A,
Kenny's the
right?
Triple
We
A.
had
Triple A, Kenny's the Mega Campeon. He's defended as more times than Jeff Jarrett and Ray
That's
Phoenix
it.
did. And why aren't they not bringing more women in from Triple A? You got a lot of talent there, but AEW has always been like, hey, we're ready to work with anybody. I think there's a lot of other companies ready to work with them. They've already worked with MLW to make sure MJF gets there. They gave them Strong Hearts for their Philadelphia show and their New York shows. Like, there's working relationships here. Let's keep it going because this only makes everyone better.
Yes.
Love it. Very, very well said, guys. And like we said, we always
New
love
Japan work with AEW. It'd be great.
Yes. Oh my God.
Maybe one day. It'd be very interesting, and we love seeing like our indie pals showing up on AEW Dark. That's great. You never.
When we get to the Battle Royale, Rob, I'm going to blow your fucking mind.
Oh, I like the segue, but real quick, in other companies or other organizations, sometimes you feel that like you're in that box. Certain things aren't going to happen. In AEW, you never know who's going to arrive, whether it's someone from the indies, an indie darling, whether it's someone who was formerly in another organization. And that's the thing that keeps us tuning in. I think it's really exciting and really fun. And I just love seeing dreams come true for people. And, not even a plug here, just a congratulations to our good friend, Mr. Joe Gacy, who's been a big part of this show, done some stuff for Pop Break as well, Bill. Congratulations to Mr. Gacy on being signed in NXT. So very, very happy for him. So good to just see people accomplish their dreams, and that's great. I can't wait to see what NXT has in store for Joe Gacy. Can't wait for that. I see Bill biting his tongue over there. We move on to our next match.
No, I'm just waiting for the next match. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next match, you segued it, Bill, so I'll throw it back to you. The Casino Royale, the Casino, it's late. Battle Royale, what do you got? Uh-oh, what's happening over there, Tiff? Who do I see over there?
Is that Trent?
It's Trent.
Trent.
The headband of all headbands, man. Outside of Nick Jackson, Trent's got the best headband in the biz.
I'm sorry, I had to pull it out for it. So.
Dude, the funny thing is, I remember he was working like for this guy like in North Jersey, and it was for Stars and Stripes Championship Wrestling. He was working as Plasma when he was like 16. I always remember seeing his name there, and now he's like, his mom's still driving him to shows, and he's Trent.
Oh.
It's awesome. But your boy Serpentico looks like he's going to be in this.
Really?
Because he got in, there was a big fracas, a Donnybrook, a Pier 6 brawl, as they would say, and Serpentico was one of the first guys in the ring to try and break it up. He was brawling. He got called out a few times on commentary. So and he's won some matches on Dark with the original Death Dealer Luther. So I could see Serpentico in that Battle Royale.
I'm all in, as you say, Bill. Love that.
I mean, he's going to be all out because he's going to get his ass thrown out. But I mean, like, no offense to withholding his real name. But no, I mean he's a guy who's he's a colorful character. He should be in the ring. He should be doing that. He should be one of the first guys in there. But I mean, you got a lot of heavy hitters in this one, man.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna be flying through the air at some point. But love what he's doing. So happy to see him in that ring. I would love to see him on the pay-per-view in that capacity. Any other surprises, Bill, or any picks for potential winners?
So I don't know everyone who's going to be in this match. So you definitely know that you got Brian Cage, Ricky Starks.
There it is.
I got you. We got Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, Butcher, Blade, Eddie Kingston, Sean Spears, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz, and Chuck and Trent so far. So that's what, 17? I think it is.
I'm going to say
you're here. Well done.
So I'm going to say you're going to have Joey,
Kip Sabian,
Sonny.
Kip.
You got to have Kip in there.
You got to have Kip.
And then they'll probably leave Cutler and Avalon out.
Yeah. There's got to be like a surprise. I feel like there's got to. I don't know. This thing is heavy hitting though, right?
Yeah.
We've already
because the winner gets a shot at the title.
Yeah, this is a heavy hitting Royal. Like I was like thinking about this earlier. I'm like, damn. I was like, we've had a couple of them already, like in the past year and a half. This one's insane. Like, man, I don't know.
Because it all depends on who you think's going to come out of that title match.
Yeah.
Because if it's MJF, you got to go with the babyface. If it's Mox, you got to go with the heel.
Right.
So it's a very interesting dynamic on who it's going to be. For me, like, because the easy answer, if MJF wins, it's Darby for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But Darby's got a lot of matches to go with Ricky and Cage.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So,
okay, so I'm gonna go with like an obvious answer here. I'm gonna go with Eddie Kingston here because he hasn't like debuted, right? And because of the fact I'm Queen of the Indies, man, so I'm gonna root for all my Indies guy. Here's the guy that I followed in the indie scene. I love him. He's the best on the damn mic, right? And everybody's seeing
eyebrows for days.
The last couple of weeks, and it's like, oh my god, I just love him so much. Like, oh, as all the wrestler friends that I had, they're like, that's Theo. Like, and everybody tells me that, and I can definitely see it. I think he's probably got like a couple of years on me or whatever, but yeah, I just feel like this would be huge. Because like he's just so good on the mic, and then like again we're blessed, right? Because we've been following this guy in the indie scene, right? But now a lot of people like may not know who he is, and like what a better way to make a name for yourself than to win this.
Wow!
If you want to see a great Eddie Kingston match, go watch him versus now NXT coach Sarah Amato when she was Sarah Del Rey and Chikara. That and Eddie Kingston and El Generico from Chikara. Those matches, holy shit, man. So good. I don't know if I love Eddie Kingston. I love what he's doing with I don't even know what you would call that group. It's besides the best fucking group in AEW, my opinion. I mean, if it was up to me, if I had my druthers, Butcher wins that match, Andy Williams, and he goes straight to the top, that ain't gonna happen. I'm thinking because of who I'm picking for the main event, I am going to go with Darby Allin. I'm going to go Darby wins that. And we build that to Full Gear. Or a big Dynamite of some sort. Because I just think Darby is just an undone. He's the Sabu of AEW. He doesn't need the belt. Darby, he never needs a title because he's become a star. He's an attraction to AEW. And I think, but putting him in a main event feud that's prolonged and not just like, hey, Darby, go wrestle Moxley and have a good match, I think would be pretty awesome. So I'm going to go Darby Allin.
Yeah, I think that's a very safe pick. I like that. And Tiff, I like your pick as well. I think that would be very interesting. Arguably, of course, one of the greatest mouthpiece doing it today, for sure. That would be very interesting to see. We'll see what happens. And like you said, Bill, it does all kind of go back to who is going to win that world title match. But before we get to that, let's talk about Le Champion, Chris Jericho taking on Orange Cassidy. This should be a lot of fun.
How do you have these dolls? Where do you get them?
Love
do
it.
You just
For those watching the video, Tiff has dolls of all of the AEW.
Do you make these?
No, I actually found them at Full Gear. There was a girl that she makes like New Japan dolls and she makes AEW dolls, and like I went nuts for Orange Cassidy because he's a husband,
As he should
and
be.
I had to go back and I had to go get the other husband. So
Do you have the name? Give her a plug. Do you have the name or?
I can't think of her name right now.
Oh, okay, well we'll share it in the description. That's
Wait,
okay.
I gotta find it, but like she does amazing stuff. Like you should have seen the dolls that like, and she makes other stuff too. So what's his name? Darren the cat from New Japan, right? Darren, that's it, right?
Daryl. Yeah, Daryl.
He's late. I'm tired. So excuse me.
Sorry, guys.
She also makes clothing for him as well. So like that she'll dress them up in the gear. And I'm like, oh, how cute is that? So that's it. So sorry, I had to do that.
Okay. So this is what a mimosa. What match now?
Mimosa.
The guy who's been drinking will tell you.
I think
It's
I've
the
been
Mimosa Mayhem match.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. What does that entail?
The loser gets dunked in or falls into a huge vat of mimosas. And if people don't know what mimosas are, they're a lovely brunch item made of champagne and orange juice. So obviously orange juice, Orange Cassidy, a little bit of the bubbly, Chris Jericho. Mix them
just
together.
Got that. Wow.
Yeah, I know you don't drink, so
I just got that. That is actually brilliant.
Chris Jericho's match, Chris Jericho's creation.
Yes. You know, a lot of people I see like on social media, like they're hating on this. And I'm like, you know, ever since ever since I said that I was going to do a podcast about AEW, I was like, I came in with all this with open mind. So nothing shocks me anymore. And it's entertaining as hell. But I got to be honest with you, Ortiz is going into that batch of champagne and orange juice because he can't swim. Because if you go back to the Stadium Stampede.
Yes.
It's still, like, as silly as the Stadium Stampede was, it's still one of the best things I've seen in wrestling in forever.
It's so much fun.
Most of Mayhem, that is the most wrestling thing I have ever heard. So it's perfect. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, is this the match where Orange Cassidy gets that big win over the likes of a Chris Jericho? Obviously, he's got a lot of momentum behind him.
He did beat him already.
He even got, Oh, true. And Tiff has the doll as well. So is this another big win for Orange Cassidy?
Oh my God. I've lost in this match, right? I'm really, really lost. Like the fangirl of me wants to go with Orange Cassidy, right? And then like the realistic side of me is saying Jericho, and I'm salty because I still haven't seen my Orange Cassidy spot. And if you know from the indies that he would carry in his back pocket the orange juice, and obviously like we don't need it because of what's going to happen in this match, but the spot, and I complain every time about when these two fight that when are we going to see the Orange Cassidy spot from the indies, and he takes a sip of the orange juice and then he spits it in the opponent's face. So I'm salty, and I think I've come to acceptance that I'm never going to get it. I'm never gonna get it. I know it. I don't know. I love Orange Cassidy. Again, I'm biased with a lot of these guys. And I love Chris Jericho. He's so great, and he said this has been like the best of like his career. He felt like with Orange Cassidy. But what a way to put over Orange Cassidy even more for him to win this match. So, but like I said, Ortiz is going in this mimosa, and I should be drinking mimosas when this match is happening at my house. So
that's a capital idea. I love that. I think that Orange is going to win. I think for a couple reasons. I think that Jericho's going to go on tour and hopefully be responsible. Not an idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Yeah. Jinx. But yeah, I think Jericho designed this match so he could be dunked in the orange juice, because what's the better moment? Chris Jericho freaking out in a vat of mimosa, or Orange Cassidy going in? It's Chris Jericho.
And Ortiz.
Ortiz, I could see him being like, hell no, I'm not going out to help you. I almost drowned in the Stadium Stampede. Like, I can see them saying that, because the thing about AEW that I love is they don't forget things. Like, he'll be like, I am not going to drown for you again, Chris Jericho. Which actually could be like the dissolution of the Inner Circle for a little bit. Because he could be like, we're not drowning for you, man. We're not going back in the drink for you. We're not coming out. And then, Jericho, and I think Jericho, like Cody, will fade off into the ether for a little bit so he can do his thing. And I eventually think, maybe not at Full Gear, or maybe at Full Gear, that we're destined for an MJF Orange Cassidy heavyweight title program.
Wow.
They believe in Orange Cassidy that much. He is that much of a star. When he had, Tiff, I'm sure you remember, when he was on Dark and the first time he ever entered a ring in AEW, he got that road, like, it's literally defined as a road warrior pop. Like, the entire arena shook. When he was at Full Gear, people went apeshit bananas for him because they just wanted to see this guy.
Yeah.
And All Out, yeah, and
I was there. They went nuts when he did the dive. I was like, yeah.
He's an amazing wrestler, and he's had his. I don't know if he's had history with MJF, but I think it's just like that's one person who's like his development. It sucks it wasn't in front of a live crowd because it's just like the reaction we would have seen would have been unbelievable. Yeah. And I think when we get back to live audiences, we're going to see an MJF with the belt taking on Orange Cassidy. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a chef's kiss because they're made to hate each other. Like the Jungle Boy MJF title feud, that's in a few years. This is made for right now. So I'm going Orange Cassidy all the way.
Wow, you guys are the dream team right now. I like what you both said. Tiff saying, hey, Orange Cassidy, this is his time. This is a big win for him. Bill hitting it right on the head saying, what's the better moment? You need Jericho in the juice, screaming and really just going nuts about it. So that would be great. It was also really cool to see the wrestlers, especially Jericho, react to that limited live crowd. You could really feel the difference. They played right off him immediately. I know last week Jericho jumped on commentary. So it's good. It's crazy to think, as Nunes always says, it's like things are getting better and worse at the same time. So, like we always say, just be careful out there, people, stay safe and stay positive.
Also, but Jericho's not like opposed to like putting a young guy over. I thought his match tonight with Joey Janela wasn't good because like he basically just squashed Joey. But then at the same time, Sonny Kiss came into the ring and laid his ass out. He clocked Jericho with a forearm. Like, he just decked him to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
And
didn't we see Sonny Kiss recently there, Tiff?
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
To him at Synergy. He's so wonderful. I love him so much. But
Jericho sorry.
I'm sorry. It's just funny, like, because, we're talking about, like, Joey Janela, and, it's so weird to me because like we still see him at like GCW and like
bars at the Jersey Shore. Yeah.
Yes. And I go nuts like watching him on like GCW, and he's like lost weight and he's been like, working harder. So like to see him like he just main event against Alex Zane. Excuse me.
The sauce.
Oh, is that another? Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
First off, Rob. Okay. Looks aside, because he is a snack, you would listen. I could say these things, man. I am secure in who I am as a human being. Alex Zane for you, Alex Zane and Blake Christian, Rob, you would love these guys. They embody that old school Mysterio, high flying shit, man. Yeah. It is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, both husbands. I need to take Rob to see the husbands because they know me. Obviously they know me. I gotta take you to see the husbands now. So I took you to Synergy. I gotta take you to go see the husbands because you're gonna love the husbands because they're insane. Like I can't like talk them up. Like the stuff. You know what? We're gonna talk after this because they are.
Rob, I'm telling you, these are the type of guys that you will watch and be like,
holy shit,
this is the next generation.
Yeah,
this is it.
I speak my language.
100%.
But yeah, it's watching these guys. I don't know where the fuck we were talking about before. Shit. What match were we talking about? I'm just Oh no, Jericho. So Jericho, yeah, we're talking about Sonny Kiss. Okay, just connected the dots. No, Jericho said that he has like was on an interview or some interview or podcast he was talking about. He's like, there are a number of undercard guys in AEW. He's like about 15 of them that I have written long-term stories with that I want to fight them. He's like, so if you're in AEW and you can hear me now, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Oh, what am I doing? He's like, I have a story with you that has not been done yet. So to me, if he's going to go out there and have a program with Sonny Kiss when he comes back, book it, want it. If he's going to do a longer program with Janela, book it, want it. Like this, Jericho's in this role that he's Terry Funk. He is the Terry Funk of AEW, and if people don't remember Terry Funk in ECW, he was going out there and having knockdown, drag-out, awesome matches, making guys in ECW left and right, whether it was Raven or Dreamer or Candido, like all these dudes. This is Stevie Richards, especially, like all these dudes. This is what he did, and now Jericho is literally doing this in AEW. So Jericho in AEW, his future it's crazy exciting, and that's at this point you should be like he should just be working like 3 times a year, but he's not.
Very, very interesting stuff, guys. And I did want to point this out before we do get into our main event here.
You're missing one match, by the way.
Oh, go ahead.
You're missing your boy Matt Hardy.
Oh, that's right.
Matt Hardy in a broken rules match against the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Because a broken rules match is, I don't remember all the rules. I know the big one is if Matt Hardy loses, he's out of AEW.
That's interesting. Well, more importantly, I want to know when that list of husbands battle royale is going to happen for Tiffany, or you know.
I don't know if she could take it. I think she needs like 7 fans right now.
Everybody keeps saying it. I can't.
Yeah.
She's like Dalton Castle right now. She needs some boys with fans right now.
Rob finally witnessed me live at a show. Okay,
It was fun.
So if it was fun because I got the shit like heckled out of me, right? Poor Rob. Like I was like pulling him out of the way with the people not like joining him and shit like that, right? I'm a lot, but I love it. You know, like I love these shows and stuff like that, and I support everybody. Like I really do. Like I really, really love it. But right, like Yangon comes out, I lose my shit. Okay, Charlie comes out, forget it. You know. So
well,
if you're
I mean, Rob's a big Charlie fan. I could see him over her over his shoulder.
Not that Charlie.
Hey, listen, even if it was,
Mason.
no judgment.
But yeah, no, I can't. Oof, no. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about this match.
We'll do the list on another show for sure. That'll be a whole episode right there.
Oh shit, I can't.
So Matt Hardy taking on Sammy in this one. I could see Matt Hardy kind of going away for a little bit. Sammy getting the win here. What about you guys?
I'm gonna defer to Tiffany first because it could take me a minute.
Yeah, it's this is another match that I'm kind of like confused about. Sammy's a star. I've been a fan of Sammy since day one. I've been saying this kid is going to be in the title picture one day. He's really, really, really good. And I love the fact that Matt Hardy wants to like work with him as well. So I don't see Matt Hardy leaving though. I don't know, like even if it's like temporary, I feel like the possibility, like whatever happened with him with Private Party. What happened here? You forgot about our boys? Like,
no, I mean he said he's mentioned them a bunch, but
yeah, but like we don't see him so much with him now. He's just like focused on Sammy, which is great. And I'm really looking forward to this match, and I love it that he's gonna put over Sammy, and Sammy did just win, right? Last week was it?
Yeah, he did.
The match? Yeah, so something kind of tells me like Matt's going to win this match because of that, and I guess that's bad because it's kind of like WWE thought process maybe a little bit, and I don't even watch WWE, but I feel like I'm a little processed for that. But I feel like Sammy's gonna look really, really good in this match, but I think Matt's gonna take it.
Yeah, all right, Matt for the win. Bill is thinking very intensely on this one.
I think Sammy's going to win. Because I think the one thing we've just learned about Matt Hardy is, like, obviously he's been very frustrated with AEW in terms of the fact, like, I think there was a grand plan for him, but there was no crowd. And I think the crowd was a big part of what his plan was going to be. So I think Matt Hardy will go away, but we're going to get a whole cinematic, like, grand sweeping plan for Matt Hardy. Like, the rebirth of Matt Hardy, like, he's coming back from the dead. Like, I could see that. I could see this being some sort of wild, broken Matt Brother Nero type shit. Jeff Hardy will be in AEW. Mark my words. I definitely think that. Unless he re-signs with WWE, I think he's going to AEW. And I think because I just think there's something to me that just thinks it's inevitable. Because I think Jeff and Matt against the Young Bucks on TNT would be huge. But I think Matt's going to come back and he's got some sort of artistic masterpiece that he has not unleashed on AEW yet. So I think that's what's going to happen. And I think AEW is a little clogged right now with talent. So for Matt to take a step back and go work on his creative stuff to come back allows for other people to have spots on the show. And I think we need to move past Matt and Sammy. I think they'll revisit it because I think we still have a Hardy compound match to happen. And I think that Hardy compound match is either with Sammy or Jericho. So I'm going to go Sammy on this one.
Oh, okay.
Although Sammy did get in a lot of shit for hitting him with that real chair. Just coming off suspension, then chucking a real chair at Matt Hardy, and then busting him open in the most brutal way possible by accident. I'm going to say that it's going to be Sammy all the way.
Love it. Yeah, that's a safe pick. I'm interested to see where that one goes. But now let's get to our main event, and then we'll get some shameless promo out of the way. We got to talk about the champ, the AEW World Champ, Jon Moxley, taking on MJF in this very interesting political type feud going on here. I've got knocked for this a lot, appearing on other shows. Like and I know I'm not supposed to be because he's a heel, but I have not been on the MJF train like everybody else. I obviously not my style of wrestler. Obviously, yes, I'm supposed to hate him, but I'm just not behind MJF. I don't think he is that genius that everyone sees. I think he's creative. I think he's good at what he does, but everyone is so behind MJF to the point where they think he's going to pull this one out. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think this is where MJF wins the AEW World title?
No, I don't. And here's the guy that I've been followed in the indies as well, and I used to heckle the shit out of him. So Rob, now you see what I do, so you could only imagine what I used to do to MJF.
I would love to see that.
I was bad.
I'm sure he had a retort or two.
Oh yes, he used to. Oh man, the crap that I used to give him over here in SWA in Long Island. That actually they rebooted back up because they stopped for a while. So I used to see him there and Create a Pro and all that shit, and the shit that he used to give me. Actually, I think I have a thingy over here too.
Uh-oh.
She's got a doll, but it's like got a knife through it.
No, I have a roller. I have a roller.
What is that?
It's a micro roller.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so for those listening at home, it's
actually it was like one of the AEW Pro Wrestling tee boxes or whatever that they had. So they had an AEW one, so I did it.
Awesome.
But anyway, so again, here's a guy that, again, like I said, that I followed, right? And he's very good on the mic, obviously, right? He's gonna make you like hate him, and it always, like, again, it's always been like that. He's very good like that. Me personally, I think he's not the best in the ring yet. I still think he's got a long way ahead. He's young still. Like, he's got a long way ahead of him as well. I think eventually he will be with the belt. I just don't think it's his time right now against Moxley. And you have to think, who's going to put the company on the back of AEW? Jon Moxley is the perfect person for it. I just feel like he's not ready, but I feel like eventually we're going to get this turn with Wardlow and MJF. And I think that this is going to happen this weekend, that Wardlow is going to get MJF back for what happened in the past with Dynamite as well, costing him. So I think Wardlow is going to cost MJF this title this weekend. So
good stuff, Tiff. And I'm glad you didn't kill me. I was expecting everyone to give me the hate for hating on MJF. So I like everything that you said there, Tiff. I fully agree with everything. Although I don't think Mox should be number one on the PWI 500. That's another episode, Bill.
Again, I know you're saying Adam Cole, but again, I'm telling you, Adam Cole, they consider NXT the minor leagues. It's not the main roster. That's why he got the shaft.
You're talking about companies. You're not talking about people. You're talking about companies. It's a
worked list. And
shocking.
And it's the people who a lot of people still consider NXT minor league. I don't personally agree with that. I don't. And I don't think Moxley was even the number one from AEW. Think about where he was from before when he got to AEW, where he was just a joke, and now is basically he was getting Steve Austin reactions in AEW, like from that crowd. I'm not saying it's comparative, like with audience and whatever, but like in AEW, he was getting these like fever pitch, insane reactions. And you also remember he went to New Japan, got the same reactions, dominated, did the G1, which is one of the craziest tournaments you're going to get in wrestling. Did that, fucked up his arm, still went out and killed it. So Moxley has an argument to be made for number one, but the reason Adam Cole, baby, was not put number one is because people just don't see. There are certain people who are saying, and again, it's script, it's a little fake. NXT is still, it's not main roster, quote unquote, for a lot of people. Not fair, not right, but I'm saying that's the reason why. So, spilt milk, we can't put it back in the bowl. But
yeah. Plus, you missed the headline of AEW has arrived. When you put Moxley on the cover, now you have that extra headline. I could go on. We'll save that for.
You could have put Jericho there, and you could have put Cody there. So, but absolutely. Regardless, so for
another
this
episode,
for this, we have to do a PWI one. We missed it last year, but I think MJF is the truth, and I think he is going to take it. Now, it doesn't bear a lot of questions. What do you do with Mox after this? Who does he fight? That's a question I don't know right now. But I think MJF, it's just like AEW has had this habit of building people up, and then the former WWE guy remains on top. Brian Cage gets built up for Mox, loses. Cody gets, Lance gets built up, he loses. But Brody Lee takes from Cody. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's time to pull the trigger on MJF, because where do you go with MJF after this? He's lost.
Well, like I said, you had to turn with Wardlow, and then you start that feud up, because it was already going on before the fact.
I don't know if Wardlow's. To me, I could see it, but I don't know if Wardlow's on that level, ready to go just yet. Because I still see him as the guy. I still see him as that. I always thought he was going to be the heavy in that Cody this theorized Cody FTR Wardlow Horseman gimmick. Because I've heard Cody talk on podcasts just about, and in interviews, just like those three guys, how great they are. I'm just like, wow, how great would it be for Cody for Wardlow to be in a group with those guys? He gets built up. He's like that Magnum TA, Lex Luger, Randy Orton, Dave Batista guy who's built up behind the veterans, and then he takes it. But I just look at it like MJF is just like, he's ready. And man, he's such a shit-ass heel that you have so many people that you want to see him lose. So you're going to have so many people. You could have
you get
Darby, and then you're going to have, and there's so many, and Hangman and Kenny and all these people going after him. And his loss, and especially I think if it's going to be Orange, I'm still hoping, that's going to work. Whereas Mox, I don't know. I just feel like it's like that. Could they stretch this out for another week or two, where Mox does could I see the paradigm shift happening when the referee's knocked out, and then Mox throws a submission on? Of course, and then MJF can bring back on from the Indies. Of course, you know him. I appreciate a man with a lovely head of gray hair, and you could see him. We could set up another match. Well, we saw this and it was bullshit. We're gonna have it. We're doing it full gear. You know what I mean? I could see that, but I'm gonna go MJF on this one because they built it up way too much.
It's funny because I always say this: who's the person that takes the belt off Moxley? Because you built this damn monster, right? And I'm with Rob on this. I just don't see it yet. It's just not yet. That's me personally, and maybe I'm being biased. I don't know, And the funny thing was, I wasn't even really a Dean Ambrose fan, So
I was for a hot minute, yeah.
Moxley, I don't know. I believe how they built him. I just fell in love with Moxley. I'm like, okay, I believe it, right? You know who I would love to take the belt? Right? I talked a little bit long-term booking that I could see Kenny being the cleaner, and then okay, Hangman Page taking the belt. What I feel like's going to happen. Love to take off the belt, Moxley. Would love for Pac to come back and take him. Give me, because that's what I thought originally was going to be our original champ.
I just look at it when the hell are we going to see him though?
I know.
That's the problem. We might not see him till next summer. That's the thing that sucks.
Oh, damn COVID! Go away!
Fucking COVID.
I'm mad. I was supposed to go to AEW Dynamite Jersey. Damn it!
I had a luxury box.
Oh!
I had a luxury box for that show.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, I mean, again, what's being said, I think it goes back to Tiffany's original point from earlier in the show. Is it can literally go either way, and logically go either way. where you could see like, okay, where does this go? And there are routes that each wrestler can take going forward, and that's what makes AEW so enjoyable. Because if Moxley wins, yeah, it sucks that MJF didn't get it, but man, there's paths for Moxley to go, and maybe Lance Archer's the guy who takes it. Maybe it's Ricky. Maybe it's somebody, and okay, those will be good feuds. But if it's MJF, oh man, you can get Darby, you can get Orange, you can get this person, that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are good stories for you to go. Whereas if you watch other companies, sometimes historically, someone wins a match, you're like, okay, where do we go from here? Like we saw it in WCW all the time. It's like, okay, that guy won. Now what? It's the same group of 3 guys that he's going to wrestle over and over again. It's not going to happen. So it's very interesting. But I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. MJF.
Okay.
There it is. And Tiff,
again, my predictions are always wrong.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going Mox now. No,
you should.
Tiff,
you should.
No, I agree with what you're saying over there, Tiff. I'm glad it's not just me who sees MJF through that lens. You know, no disrespect or anything like that.
Of course not. No, it's not a bad thing. I mean, you know, we all
not...
have opinions. It's not a negative opinion. It's just like there's a lot of guys that, you know, they're still young and there's that potential, right? That AEW clearly saw, you know, potential in a lot of these wrestlers, and I get it all the time. Like people give me shit all the time about my boys Private Party. Yeah, I'm biased because I know them and stuff like that, right?
Great too.
I think they're great,
they're like really
but
awesome.
there's a lot of people that they just don't like them. They're like, they're not good, they're not entertaining, or whatever the scenario is.
Do
you
they
know?
not
but
have
like,
eyes? I mean, that's a thing.
You know, that's a whole story. I fight with everybody with it or whatever. So it's not a bad thing because I like MJF. Don't get me wrong. I like him, right? I think, like I said, I think he's great on the mic, right? I just think he has a lot to learn. And that's okay. And he will get there because you got to remember, and this is the thing about the indie scene. These wrestlers might not be wrestling every week. Maybe they're wrestling once a month, you know, maybe they're not wrestling as much and they're not getting, you know, all the training that they would on a higher platform, you know, but they're going to get there, right? Like you have all these coaches and all these other wrestlers, you're only going to get better. So
see, I was totally on that train too until I saw the MJF Jungle Boy match. Because I was like, man, MJF is like, he's killer on the mic, but in the ring, I'm like, he's good. He needs to be on the stove for a little longer. He needs to keep simmering for a little bit. I saw that hit match with him and Jungle Boy, and I was like, shit. Wow, that is not the MJF I've seen yet. So I'm just like, why not? And man, I mean, ultimately, what would my instincts would love if, you know, we revisit that Lights Out match at Full Gear. We get a bloody brawl between MJF and Moxley for the title, as long as it's not in Baltimore, because, you know, people reported. Well, someone reported them to the commission. A former WCW announcer did.
That's how it is.
And they, man, to see those 2 guys in a knockdown, drag out, Crimson Mask brawl, tape fists, just wearing jeans. That's fucking wrestling right there, man. And I if we have to go, if that's what I get out of that, I will take a Moxley win and that feud down the road because, you know, I love myself a good blood feud.
Oh boy, interesting.
You know it, Rob. Coast to as our buddy Kenny Pete would say, coast to coast, double juice blade job, brother. I'm in for it.
Oh boy. Well,
Tiffany's
I'll tell you
like,
this concerning
never
that
had this
match.
guy on a podcast when he's drinking. It's the worst.
All right, guys. Well, before we get out of here, and thank you again for throwing this thing together last minute. You know, we're cranking out the podcast. We got a lot of content coming out, a lot of shameless promo. Tiff, we got to find out who made those dolls. But Tiff, tell everyone where they can follow you on No Holds Bar Network. Of course, All Elite Pod, all that good stuff. And where can we get that shirt, that awesome shirt? No, the Queen of the Indie shirt. Oh, we lost you.
You got to turn her mic on.
We lost audio. She's coming back.
I don't know I clicked the dance.
No, she was dancing over there.
Yeah, I get excited. No. Yeah, you could get the awesome shirt on Teespring on No Holds Barred Network. So actually, our girl Maria, who does the outro, being the elite, and she does all those awesome. This shirt I'm wearing right now, like she did. This is
Oh, that's her as well.
this is an exclusive Maria shirt.
Did she
I
do the
only
Toy
have-
Story one?
Yeah, she
Oh
did.
my god.
Yes, she did. That girl
Best.
is amazing. I met her in All Out last year. She lives in Denmark. I love that girl to death. Like
Wow.
Denmark. Wow.
yes. And I threw her under the bus the private party, and she always reminds me of it. But yeah, no, you definitely. So like, I'll give you guys all her information too if you want to like put all her stuff in the description as well, because that girl should be all over the place because she's absolutely amazing. So you could probably find me at an indie show, like I always say. But you can find me on Twitter at Loves to Dream 82. I'm on the No Holds Barred Network with all my million podcasts. I don't know how I sleep. But yeah, so that's where I am. So.
That's great. Tiff, thank you so much for a few minutes. And you can catch Tiff at these socially distanced, safe indie shows that we love to support, getting her friend Ray chopped by about half the roster, which is so much fun. All the respect and love to Ray right now. Was my favorite part of the show. Brandon Kirk with that chop. Oh, man, I nothing but respect.
I'm Brandon Kirk, and I'm going to chop Ray.
Oh, man, that was a good time. I'm excited for that. Bill, tell everyone where they can follow you on Twitter and a little website called thepopbreak.com.
Yeah, I mean, I just tweet a lot about wrestling, so I guess that's on brand for this podcast. So yeah, I'm at Bodkin Writes, WRITES. Just wanted to give a little quick shout out and remembrance. A really, really good wrestling journalist, Casey Michael, who runs Squared Circle Siren, passed away today. One of the great reporters on about women's wrestling. Broke so many stories about signings and comings and goings and just things that were happening in women's wrestling. They're on Twitter at SC Sirens. Great site. Definitely follow them if you're into women's wrestling. And unfortunately, he had been battling a lot of, I didn't know him personally, battled a lot of health issues. Recently, like I said, passed away this afternoon. But give them a follow because they're a great outlet for women's wrestling information. So. And if there's any GoFundMe or stuff like that, and if you have a couple bucks, definitely donate because that dude, he went through a lot. So, but outside of that, I run thepopbreak.com, which is a pop culture entertainment website that has been going on for 11 years this month, I should say, the end of this month. And we're at thepopbreak.com. It's our URL. We're at popbreak.com, all spelled out on Twitter. /popbreak.com, all spelled out on Facebook, at the Pop Break on Instagram. I co-host the Socially Distanced podcast with my managing editor, Al Manarino, which is on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. I have to count it on my hands because I never remember how many things I'm on. And I also have Pop Break TV on the same feeds. And, proud member of the BCP, where you can hear me not being a fan of Randy Orton, and always talking about making AEW references in WWE podcasts. And so Rob, thank you as always for having me. And I have merch that Rob made for me. So go to Teespring and look up Lay Editor-in-Chief, and all proceeds go to whatever charity Rob deems fit. Because if you buy one of my stuff, God bless you. It's so hard.
That's awesome. Bill, do you want to get the Randy Orton out now, or do you want to save it for the next?
No, this is AEW. This is something I enjoy.
No, but I just if you needed to.
This is something I love. I love AEW. If you're not watching Dynamite, you should be. It's great. And don't forget, Dynamite this weekend, it's on Bleacher Report. It's like a $50 job, so pick it up. It's worth it. I have not watched an AEW pay-per-view yet where I haven't loved. And so, yeah, it's worth the money.
Yeah. It's so good.
Very well said. And we'll be watching it again under the stars, a little shameless promo, the All Out Watch Party in Atlantic City at the Showboat. Tommy Dreamer will be there. A lot of great matches going on there. I believe there's also a concert and comedy show. It's an all-day event down in Atlantic City. Can't wait for that. Guys, also be aware that September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, so do what you can to support relief efforts there. I know I'm trying to reach out to our good friend Tiff, Ref Ryan T, the good brother over there, trying to have him on. I know he's got some stories. He does a lot of great work for some great causes. So hoping to have him on. If you want to co-host, Tiff, that would be fantastic.
Do it.
Please do it.
Yeah, I'll give you a lot more heads up on that one than I did tonight. Trust me. Also, guys, very important to me. October 3rd, Val's Pals Go to War for a great family, for a great kid named Val who loves wrestling, a lot of medical expenses. Really loves wrestling, connects with the wrestlers. A lot of the indie talent have been so good to him and his family. Love those guys; they're fantastic. It's going to be a great show. If you can't make it, you can donate a seat. A lot of the match sponsorships proceeds go directly to the family. We also have names like Brian Cage confirmed for the event. Impact's Ace Austin also confirmed for the event. So very, very proud to be sponsoring that for a great cause and a great family. And I think that's enough shameless promo for now. Bill, Tiff, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time making this happen. As we always say here on the BCP, stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We are out. Peace.